Hello everyone, welcome all of you come back to my channel Anthony Lee GMC, and today I'm very happy that I can invite the guest. He's Peter Mitchell. Yeah, and he's have many years working as a business consultant, and he also the commercial director of Jubilee Sailing Trust, a charity that to support for the disabled people can sailing around the world, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, cool. So, and he also used to work at the fund management and investment banking. I'm very pleased to talk with you today. So the topic what we talk today would be about the mistake in your marketing that every CEO should know. Yeah, great. Thank you, Peter, for joining.
No problem at all. Thanks, Anthony, for your time.
Yeah, okay. So, Peter, can you tell a little bit about what do you think that the biggest mistake in marketing that the business owner or the CEO or entrepreneur should know during the time that you work and you find out?
Sure. I think that in a lot of cases people will look differently at their situation.
Yeah.
Whether they're a startup, whether they're working like me for a charity, or whether they are in a big business, a big company that's been going for many, many years.
Yeah.
And they'll somehow think that they're all different.
Yeah.
Realistically, if you come up with an analogy of what marketing is for organizations, all of those can be sort of made to look the same by saying, if you were to walk into a room where there's a whole crowd of people and you have to introduce yourself to those people, you have to make them aware of who you are, and then you have to hopefully end up having some sort of transaction with those people. Then marketing becomes the same for all of those different organizations. It doesn't matter how big or small. In most cases, if you're a startup, you won't have any money. If you're a charity, hopefully the money that is being donated to your charity is best spent on impacting the people, the beneficiaries of your charity. So for me, working with a disability charity, it is much better that the money that is donated is spent on the beneficiaries of the charity than it is on an advertising campaign, for instance. So if you think of each of those organizations in this analogy of walking into a room, you start off by saying, how do I walk into the room? How do I open the door? What do I want to portray as I walk into the room? If I sit in this corner of the room over here, that's the digital arena. If I sit in that corner of the room, that's the traditional arena. So think of traditional being TV, being radio, being print media, newspapers and magazines and the like. So a lot of people will go, okay, I'm going to walk into the room. I'm a small startup, but I don't have any money. Therefore, I'm going to go and sit in that corner of the room, and I'm going to put lots and lots of pieces of information out there. So it might be Facebook posts, it might be YouTube videos, it might be Instagram photos or videos, etc. And by doing that, I'm not spending any money, but I'm getting a huge amount of awareness in that group over there. But that group over there has no idea who you are. They have no idea that you've even walked into the room. So if I go over into that corner, how do I get that group aware? So I go through traditional marketing channels, and that might be TV, it might be radio, it might be print. But I have no money. So I have to do, an expensive TV advert? Suddenly I'm going to need a film crew, I'm going to need all sorts of different things. Then I'm going to have to pay for airtime, or I'm going to have to pay for an ad in the magazine. But in fact, what you want is you want to engage the people that are running those organizations, the media organizations, before anyone.
That's true.
So if you can turn around and, in my case, the Jubilee Sailing Trust built a tall ship 40 years ago that can be sailed by half the crew living with a disability. What does that really look like? It means that you might have 8 people in wheelchairs on a tall ship that's sailing across the Atlantic or the Pacific. You might have somebody blind who's on the helm. So you can picture this beautiful tall ship, lots of white square sails, people in wheelchairs going up the mast. You know, there are huge amounts of visual aspects about that, which is great for the digital online world. Fabulous YouTube videos, but I don't want to pay for advertising. But if I've got the ear of a media mogul, that would be a great place to start, but it's not usually that. It's usually a journalist or somebody starting out in the industry, or it might be a radio presenter, and I can engage them with my story. Then they want to actually make a story for their program out of us. Now, in my case, that's easy because it's a charity. It's got this feel-good factor. But if you're starting up a small business, then you're going to create some impact. What is the social impact of what you're doing? What is the impact that you're going to have on other people? What is that key sort of passionate element that is going to draw somebody like that into it? Because then you can go and sit in that corner of the room and engage them. So the biggest mistake that people make is they go, I'm going over there. This is the new world. I'm going to leave the old world behind.
Yeah.
And actually what they need to do is have a really good mix of marketing. If you look at the car industry, they're especially good at the moment at the combination of the two. You'll still see car adverts on the TV. It's got that great visual aspect of a car whizzing around tight turns of a mountain pass, that kind of thing. When they're shown on the TV, people then go online and they go, oh, how much is that car? Or can I get that car in my favourite colour, which is burnt orange or something? You know, those are the kinds of questions that they want answered. They're going on their iPad in front of the TV and having a look. The car company is monitoring that activity. They're looking at the immediate impact from a TV ad on the digital system. So it's that combination of digital plus traditional. And by understanding that, you're really engaging different groups. So it's don't leave that behind just for tomorrow and the digital world, but don't assume that the digital world's going to make everything and leave the yesterday behind, as it were. It is literally create the mix of the two.
Yeah, right. So, do you think that's how people, I mean that's how the CEO, the organization, that can avoid that mistake? I mean, do you have any suggestion to do it?
It is.
Your case?
It is literally a case of, if I am brand building or marketing or brand managing, you have to think of it in terms of every single person. So it doesn't matter whether you're a large company that's been operating for years or starting up a company tomorrow. You have to think of it as walking into that room, always. And how would I want to walk into that room? How would I like people to perceive me? And that's a really important piece, because if you put yourself as one of those people in the room and the door smashes open and somebody loud and let's say, for the want of a better word, obnoxious comes charging into the room, are you going to step back and disappear because the impact's been wrong? Or are you going to be one of those people who goes, this is fun, this is going to be exciting, I want to be part of this, and step forward with your hand out? So how you walk into the room is how you're going to communicate in that marketing brand awareness building process. So you can start quietly with little pieces, or you can make a huge splash. It depends on what you're trying to achieve. But always think of it as that room, and think of how you would feel if you were one of the people in the room. If I'm, as I am, a middle-aged man, I sit on a Saturday morning reading a newspaper, traditional newspaper. It's the only traditional newspaper I get in the week. I have an iPad. I can get it on my iPad. I happen to like sitting there with a cup of coffee, reading the newspaper. I don't see the ads, but there is still a brand awareness piece that's building in the ads. What I'm doing is reading the stories. So if there's a particularly engaging story, then that's going to lead me to looking up other things. But most of the time, I'm like everybody else. I've got a sore neck from being on my phone.
Yeah, that's
So I'm looking at Facebook, I'm looking at Instagram, I'm looking at YouTube videos. I'm like everybody else, sit on the tram or the bus, and I think, well, it's dull. I'll pick my phone out and I'll look at something.
Yeah.
So if I can see the connection to the story that I saw in the newspaper here as well, now I'm starting to actually engage. And it's being cognizant of that room and that engagement with the people in that room is exactly what you would see in most business consultants putting out a traditional sales funnel. You know, how are you building awareness? How are you engaging? How are you communicating? How are you getting people to consider your brand as something they want to do a transaction with? Are you maximizing the number of people you're making aware? So by walking into the room and only sitting in one corner, you're getting a group of people engaged, but you're only minimizing that. By having both corners of the room, you're engaging a much broader market of the whole room. So how many people are you making aware? And then how many people are you making consider you? Now, if you've gone from a huge number to a very small number, you need to work on the gap between. And it's exactly how the traditional sales funnel works, is that you have to look at keeping as many people as possible, the lowest rate of attrition that you can. So the more people that you can make aware and go through that consideration all the way through to a transaction, then the better your business will be.
I think that is really interesting idea about the way how we are working with the marketing nowadays, because I also see that many young companies that they try to put a lot of effort on digital marketing, but they forgot about traditional, and a lot of the old companies they also just focus on traditional, but they forgot digital marketing. Right?
It would be nice to think that as a charity or as a small business owner, you might be able to employ the services of an SEO and maximize your digital footprint in the world.
Yeah, that's right.
But most people don't have the money for that.
That's right.
If I'm running a business unit within a large organization, I still have to answer to my boss about my cost base.
Yeah.
How can I minimize my cost base but maximize the impact from that cost? And to me, clever use of funds and resources in marketing is one of the major ways that you can do that. So if you engage a story, we've got magazines sitting here. There's paid advertising all over the place. That's what pays for the magazine itself. But more important than that, there are many stories within it that are often organizations themselves. And they've attracted the journalist to come and talk to them and write a story. Do you find more impact out of reading the story or seeing the visual advert? And I think probably a combination of the both is ideal, and bigger companies will do that. But if you don't have the funds, or you want to maximize the impact of your cost base, then getting the story out there is the key.
So for the small company and don't have the good fund, so focus on the story is the best way.
If I don't know, think about it as one of the major brewing companies in the world.
Yeah.
You know, if I worked for a Lion Nathan or an SAB, then I've got tons of money. I can just pay advertising.
Yeah, that's right.
But actually, could I get people to talk about my beer with each other?
That's right.
I don't have to pay for that. There's an old story in marketing that one of the brands that's right out there at the moment and has done incredibly well actually started by putting empty cans in bins in the street. One night they went out, they had a whole load of opened empty cans and filled up the bins in a particular area. Which you think doesn't cost a lot.
Yeah, that's right.
Doesn't seem to say anything, but a whole lot of people go, what's this thing that everybody's drinking these days?
Yeah, that's right.
So it's a very low cost way of building brand awareness. And that's a very traditional way. That's not digital in any way. That's word of mouth.
Yeah, word of mouth.
So don't leave the traditional behind. And have a really good, solid marketing mix. have a reason and a strategy behind why you have that particular marketing mix.
Wow. Yeah, understand this. Yeah, thank you, Peter Michel, very much for your sharing today with me and the audience of my channel. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope that you guys really get some really good point from the way that's how to avoid the mistake, as well as one of the biggest mistakes in doing marketing in nowadays from one of the expert and very experienced Peter Michel.
I hope I've been of some help.
Thanks, Anthony. Yeah, thank you so much, Peter. And see you guys in the next video. And you can like and subscribe for my channel to watch more videos about the successful business, as well as the community and inspire story and the sharing from the expert like Peter. Okay, and you can check it out, the link below, to know more about him. And if my audience have any question to you, they can send you, right?
Absolutely, no problem at all.
Okay, yeah. Okay, see you.